So this is the story of my past life regression experience that I had in Bali, in Ubud, back in 2016, specifically on the 15th of December 2016. I really wanted to share this story because I left a comment on a Sad Guru video. The video was called, "Is Past Life Regression Possible?" I think some people had commented just asking for more information on my experience, and I realized that is something that I could share that might help somebody that people are interested in. So the comment that I actually left on the video, I'll read that out to you first. So it said, "I undertook past life regression in Ubud Bali in 2016 and feel what I saw during the experience was definitely helpful for understanding and working through current life challenges. I feel we can gain benefit anytime we set a conscious intention to improve ourselves. It is more the intention and the readiness to ascend than the particular modality we select. I went in with this intention and readiness. Was what I saw accurate in pertaining to my past lives? Who knows? It does not particularly matter, as the manifestations of my subconscious through this experience assisted in my growth either way and still continue to this day." That's very much still how I feel about the experience. Do I think like, oh yeah, I definitely saw like past lives, this is what's happened to me in the past? I'm not really like fixed on that belief at all. I know that, the subconscious will manifest kind of what it needs to show us when it needs to show us. The session actually lasted 4.5 hours, which I know because after the session, she had emailed me notes about what had come up during the session, like a transcript. And I went back to my emails like this morning and I found that. So this is pretty accurate to what happened at the time. This isn't just me going off of memories. This is what was written down afterwards. So it took place in Ubud by an Australian lady. And yes, I'm also Australian, by the way. That lady was living in Ubud and she was Australian, and this was what she did. She offered these sessions to people. My friend that I was traveling with also did a regression, and he had a different experience to mine. So that's also quite interesting that I think everybody sort of gets what they need out of their experience. The regression is essentially a form of hypnosis, which is just helping you access your subconscious and hopefully figure out what's going on in there and then reprogram it a little bit with like some healthier thoughts that can maybe help you with your life and your current life challenges. The notes had written that the session's objective was to connect with the root of lack of self-love and self-worth connected to my skin problems. So I will put a photo on the screen of what my skin was doing at the time. I was struggling with extreme adult acne, and it had come up a lot for me, and people kept saying to me that it was caused by like a lack of self-worth or self-love. So I actually saw into several past lives. So I saw into one really briefly where I drowned. So that was basically like, all I could see was I was kind of floating and this boat was moving away, and that life had actually ended with me drowning, that I'd fallen off, maybe nobody had noticed, and that I drowned. So that was really interesting. Another past life that I saw into was where I was actually in a domestic violence type situation. And I remember this one really clearly because my partner was really angry with me at the time, and I was like kind of on the ground in like a bathroom. I had like black and white tiles, and the partner was just throwing things at me, and they were angry because I hadn't cleaned properly. I was getting like berated for that. I remember that one really, really clearly. And then there was another one that I saw into where I had no arms and no legs, and it was kind of like an older time setting, and I was kept in this dark room, and the people I was living with were trying to hide me and pretend I didn't exist. Because essentially during the session, she would ask me, "Where are you? Look at your hands, look at your feet. What are you wearing?" Like to describe that situation. So that's how, in that one I was like, look at your pants or whatever. And I was like, I don't have legs, So that was really, really interesting. And I just remember feeling feelings of like fear and abandonment and like I didn't matter. So essentially what the notes said, the notes say that I connected with a past life that makes me feel disempowered and that I wanted to give up on life. And the main feelings that surfaced were, I'm not good at things. I don't understand why I can't do simple things. I'm capable, but I'd rather do things the easy way. I'm scared of being rejected by doing my best, and I'm scared of being rejected as the best version of myself and of not feeling loved. So what came up was thoughts of I'm capable and would like to be inspired by life and feel passionate about, having a purpose. The next thing she did, because those first past lives were quite distressing, so then she moved me into a place of where she had me connect with the past life where I had an exploration of more positive feelings. So I connected with a past life in Egypt, in like an ancient Egypt time, which to my understanding was back then, you know, ancient Egypt was a time of great equality between men and women. I think people lived really, really long. Men and women had the same rights and privileges. And I think like the ancient Egyptians were, you know, really, they knew a lot about the body and they were really ahead of the times, which I know now because actually after Ubud, I went to Egypt and learned some of this. But in this past life, I felt loved, accomplished, fearless, confident, and appreciated in my efforts. And I was giving talks to people, or I was in some kind of like leadership inspiring role. And, you know, that brought great feelings of like worthiness. And I really enjoyed my life and I felt like competent and powerful. When I had experienced those feelings, then she got me to anchor into those feelings. So she got me to anchor into feelings of feeling loved, accomplished, empowered, having self-love, with visualization exercise, so that I could draw upon that energy in the future. Then what she had me do, and actually this was really cool, I really liked this when I was reading back on it, and I don't really remember this part, but yeah, this is really cool. So she had me revisit scenes of the disempowered past life and transform the experiences with a renewed empowered perspective. Then the note said that what came about was my shift in awareness was it feels good to do your best. The lesson to take away was to give my all and not care about the outcome, even when there's risk involved. And I don't have to give away my power, and there's power in vulnerability. And it's actually really funny because as I was reading all this stuff, I was like, wow, this is actually really relevant to my life right now. And even like putting myself out on the internet like this, it also came up, there is no need to hold on to anything which disempowers me. There's power and joy in giving my all and doing so without expecting anything. And I'm really feeling that at the moment. But yeah, don't allow others to determine my reality, and to apply these lessons practically, to do my best regardless, and to walk my talk. So that was actually really cool. Like reading back on this, I was like, oh, that lady was really nice. And it was a really cool experience at the time. It was really nice to actually just revisit on that because it's been over 8 years now since that experience. And it's definitely stuck with me, and it's something that like, oh, if people are ever talking about past lives, or like I'll mention that I had this experience in Ubud and people have had questions. And yeah, it's been really nice to reflect on it, because I do think that I gained a benefit from that, and I gained sort of a window into my subconscious just through the hypnosis. And, you know, I'm not like, oh my God, these were my definite past lives and this definitely happened to me in past lives. And, you know, I'm not like attached to that. I hope you enjoyed this, and feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section.